Hey guys, and gals, I suppose, that being the 1% of my subscriber base who watch me. Where the heck are all the girls around here? I thought this was sort of a magnet of sorts. Probably off watching some younger and hotter YouTube guitarists, I suppose. Regardless, it's David Gilmour month here on my channel. Lots of covers, a few tutorials, some tone discussion videos, so on and so forth. Now, I covered the classic solo to Have a Cigar from Wish You Were Here a few nights ago, and again I spent a decent amount of time picking apart the tone in Bias FX 2, trying to get it close, and apparently I did, judging from some of the responses to the video. So today we're going to pick apart this tone and see what makes it tick. Now, I generally do all of my covers using the Bias FX 2 guitar software suite. However, these tone settings should work pretty much across the board and get you pretty close whether you're using Bias FX itself or any other guitar software, or an amp and a pedal board for that matter. I will upload my settings to the Bias FX Tone Cloud should you want to download this preset and try it yourself. I'll label it KDA, my initials, so it's easy to find. But first up, and before we get into my signal chain, we need to talk about the guitar and exactly what Gilmour used on this one as far as effects go. According to Gilmourish.com, an amazing compendium website of all things David Gilmour, David used his black Strat on this one in the bridge position. His amp of choice at this period was usually the Hiwatt DR103, though some say that he also used a Fender Twin reverb head during the Wish You Were Here recordings as well. Now, David was very much pedal driven when it came to distortion, so his amps were generally set to just about breakup, and he usually used pedals for his gain saturation. In the early 70s, it was the Dallas Arbiter Fuzz Face, and a little later in the 70s, it was the Electro Harmonix Big Muff, neither of which were actually used on this solo, however. He usually boosted these fuzz/distortion pedals with a Color Sound Power Boost pedal during this period as well. However, for this solo in particular, I believe that he just used the boost pedal in front of the amp, set with a bit more gain than usual with no fuzz. The Have a Cigar solo also has a phaser on it, and Gilmour's choice of phaser was usually the MXR Phase 90 during the 70s. Now, delay, of course, is a near constant with regards to Gilmour's tone, and during the Wish You Were Here recordings, he was known to have used the Binson Echo Rec 2, a primitive, rather large, rack-mounted type of delay unit. And finally, with regards to reverb, another important aspect of Gilmour's tone, I don't know exactly what he used as far as reverb goes, be it amp, rack mount, or added in post. However, plate reverb at about 20 to 25% always gets me in the right ballpark for Gilmour's tone. So anyway, enough babbling. Let's check out a sample of this one, and then we'll open up Bias FX and have a look at my signal chain. Alright, here we have our signal chain for this one. Quite a bit going on here. We're gated at first. First pedal in our signal chain is a noise gate because I've got a boost pedal here in front of my amp, and I've got a lot of gain on my amp, and so it was creating a lot of noise. So I've gated this to kill some of the noise. Compression next. Now, compression on a distorted signal chain, distorted tone, you're not going to notice it as much as on a clean tone. So I've got everything pretty much at noon, except for sustain. It will help your sustain, and it will smooth out your tone on a distorted tone. I've got my sustain up here at about 3 o'clock, just to get a little more sustain out of this one. Into a Tube Screamer type pedal, just as a boost, but also as a bit more gain. I've got my drive here at about 10 o'clock, my tone at about 2, and my level at about 2. And like I said, Gilmour would usually use the power boost, the Color Sound power boost pedal, as I don't think the Tube Screamers were available at the time. Into an amp, the Hiwatt DR103, with a fair amount of gain. Like I said, he usually used pedal for his gain saturation, but not on this solo. There's no fuzz on this one. It's amp gain, and he's got the gain up here, or I've got the gain up here at about 2:30, 3 o'clock. So a fair amount of gain. Bass at noon, mids at about 2 o'clock, treble rolled off just a little bit to about 11 o'clock, presence right up the middle, and our master at about 3 o'clock. Into a 4x12 cabinet with our microphone just off the center to kill a little bit of the highs. Into a phaser pedal, and I don't know what pedal this Phaser Pro by Bias Effects emulates. It looks like a Boss, maybe. We've got our parameters set pretty low here. Speed down at about 830. Depth and intensity just over 9 o'clock, between 9 and 10 o'clock. And the different modes of your phaser. I don't really know, how to describe these, but I've got it set on this first one. Into a chorus pedal. Now, I use a chorus pedal almost all the time with parameters set very low, just to smooth out my tone. Does not give you any chorusy warble. I've got my rate set really low here, down on about 1. Intensity and width both down quite low as well at about 8 o'clock. Treble and bass pretty much up the middle. Into a delay pedal. I'm using a digital delay here with my delay time set at about 380 milliseconds. Par for the course for David Gilmour. He's usually somewhere between 320 and 380 with our feedback at about 4 or 5 repeats. Level at about 11 o'clock and tone right up the middle. And as far as reverb goes, I'm on plate reverb again. I usually go with plate reverb for David Gilmour. And, this big rack-mounted type of emulator here, all these little dials, low-frequency, high-frequency EQs and gains and widths and whatnot, I just leave those all set at noon. I worry mostly about my my wet-dry here. And with plate reverb, you do not want to use too much because it's a really cavernous type of reverb. I'm set here at about 18, which is maybe 20%, and you don't want to go too much more than that, or you're going to sound like you're in an aircraft hangar. And that's pretty much it for this tone, and I certainly hope that helped you out in trying to dial in the tone for Have a Cigar. And that's it for this one. All right, then, I hope you found that helpful, entertaining maybe, and informative. Great bloody classic Gilmour solo, that. And as par for the course with David Gilmour, an awesome guitar tone as well. Well, that's it for today. Hope you're well in your little guitar corner of the world, wherever that may be. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.